This is the real Zelensky, in my opinion. The current one that we all know and, is celebrated by the Western press is just an actor working for his paycheck from the likes of the US deep state. He says, in the East and in Crimea, people want to speak Russian. Leave them alone. Legally provide them the right to speak Russian. Language should never divide our country. I'm of Jewish heritage. I speak Russian. I love this country and I don't want to be part of another. Russia and Ukraine are brotherly people. I know many millions, thousands of people who live in Russia and who are wonderful. We are one color, one blood. We understand each other, irrespective of language. Before Volodymyr Zelensky was president, he was a comedian. He was an actor. He was actually making fun of the US-aligned politicians in Ukraine. He would make fun of the Azov Nazis in Ukraine, and he would make fun of and criticize the people who were anti-Russian, Russophobic, and wanted to ban the Russian language in Ukraine. In fact, his words actually lined up more closely, and his ideas lined up more closely with the likes of Viktor Yanukovych, who was couped by the US in a 2014 regime change operation, than Petro Poroshenko, the Western-aligned ultranationalist coup president that Volodymyr Zelensky himself replaced in 2019. There's been a few clips that have surfaced in recent months from Volodymyr Zelensky's comedy career and his acting career, and I want to take a look at a few of them because they show us who the real Zelensky is, the individual who is a popular political figure or a popular, celebrity in Ukraine, versus the Zelensky of today, the real actor who is working for a paycheck as a U.S. subservient ultranationalist in Ukraine. So let's take a look at two of these clips in particular. The first clip is Zelensky doing a comedy routine. He says, Obama is Ukraine's real president, and Ukraine will join NATO to become America's henchman. Also gives Nazi salute and says copies of Hitler's Mein Kampf are sold out in Ukraine. I mean, this is just insane given how he acts now. Let's take a look at this. He says, today, our president, the most important one, Barack Obama, has promised that we will join NATO soon. As an American henchman, of course. If you can, please send me Hitler's book, Mein Kampf. They're sold out here, he says. And the crowd laughs. Because, this is true. It's obviously, there's a Nazi issue in Ukraine. Obviously, Obama controlled Ukraine. He goes on to say, sometimes I do morning exercises on the balcony. I do it like this, from the heart to the sun. Well, it is needless to say, he says, so it's obvious to everyone that Nazism is a big problem in Ukraine, that Ukraine under Petro Poroshenko was a U.S. subservient puppet state. And now he's acting just like all those same people that he was making fun of in this comedy routine. Now, this video resurfaced today. I saw it. I reposted it. This is the real Zelensky, in my opinion. The current one that we all know and, is celebrated by the Western press is just an actor working for his paycheck from the likes of the US deep state. So let's watch this. Let's see what he has to say. He says, in the East and in Crimea, people want to speak Russian. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Legally provide them the right to speak Russian. Language should never divide our country. I'm of Jewish heritage. I speak Russian. I'm a citizen of Ukraine. I love this country and I don't want to be part of another. Russia and Ukraine are brotherly people. I know many millions, thousands of people who live in Russia and who are wonderful. We are one color, one blood. We understand each other, irrespective of language. Compare that to the Zelensky of today, who is extremely Russophobic, who is, cheerleading on the banning of the Russian language in Ukraine, who is sending out his SBU death squads to target people who challenge his official Russophobic narrative and capture them and do God knows what with them, like they did to Gonzalo Lira for 7 days, and then made him sign a non-disclosure agreement and not mention anything that happened, right? Zelensky today is acting as though Ukraine should be NATO's henchman, that we should be controlled directly by the United States, and we should essentially be a vassal state Ukraine should be a vassal state that is used as a pawn in a game of global chess against the Russians. It's incredible to see how much this man has changed over the past several years. There have been some people that say, Jackson, I think today, the Zelensky we see today is the real Zelensky. I don't think so. I think the Zelensky we saw back then doing his comedy routine and, just going out on some press and speaking his mind, I think that's the real Zelensky. I think the Zelensky we see today is a blackmailed, corrupted, compromised man who has no control over his own decisions, let alone control over his own country. He has lost control to the US and UK, London and Wall Street, the deep state oligarchs. He's lost control of his country and his own decisions to the Azovites, to the Banderites, the Nazis in his own country, the people that he hates. We know this because we've seen videos of him fighting against them and arguing with them on the front lines of the Donbass war when he tried to bring an end to it. Zelensky is a man who has no control over anything. He has no say over what is going on in Ukraine. And that is particularly why the situation in Ukraine is so dangerous. Zelensky has lost all control. Given those clips right there, I don't think he was all that bad to begin. Thanks for watching that episode of The Dive. If you'd like to support independent journalism, be sure to subscribe and consider becoming a member on my Patreon using the link below.